Well, welcome everybody. This is Heidi Kaisand at Hen Chicks Studio, and we are so excited to have you here with us this evening as we are having yet another creative conversation here at Hen Chicks Studio. And if you have not joined us for one of these kinds of conversations, you know, this is just intended to be fun and creative, and to learn about other people that are in the industry, because we have such a creative industry and it really does make it fun to learn about so many of the great people that are out there. And so tonight I would like to welcome my friend. I can say that she's my friend. We've known each other a long time. Shelley Robson. How are you tonight, Shelley?
I'm doing great, Heidi. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, I'm so glad to have you. And first of all, you too are a shop owner. So I'm in my store and you're in your store. How fun is that?
It's awesome.
So
Who would have thought this kind of thing was possible?
That's right. And anybody watching tonight is like going to be in fabric heaven, because
absolutely
seeing fabric all, you know, in both screens. So tell us a little bit, Shelley, about you and your quilt shop and where you're located.
Well, the Quilted Forest is located in Forest City, Iowa, and I have been a store owner for 24 years. We've been in this location for about 13. The first 11, we were down the street a block in a store that was about half the size. And besides having the quilt shop, I also have a pattern company called Peachtree Patterns. So those things work really well together. They kind of keep each other going, and we have a lot of fun doing it, and we love being here.
Well, okay, so I know maybe the answer to this question, but is there anybody that works with you that's in your family or beside you or behind you or wherever?
So my husband, Dan, works here in the afternoons. He takes care of most of the wholesale business. And then my daughter, Jana, she works here occasionally. She has another job too, but she comes in and helps me out a lot. And then I have I have 4 other gals that work here. Three. There's a bunch of us. And Deanne and Sandy and Colette are here most often, and they're a great help. I love them.
They're your extended family, that's for sure.
They are, absolutely.
I would say the same thing about any of the gals that work here, that if they weren't my blood family, they're my extended family, because we become almost, if you want to say, sisters,
absolutely,
because we are working together so closely in everything. So when you started your quilt shop 24, did you say 24?
Yes.
24 years ago. Why, you know, that many years ago, not that it's that long ago, but you know, certainly a different time. It was before social media. It was before, I mean, all sorts of things. What possessed you at that moment to open up the Quilted Forest?
Well, I loved quilting. I loved fabric. When I was in college, I worked in Joann Fabrics in La Crosse, Wisconsin. And, you know, that was a dream. You know, I never thought it would become a reality. I was in the right place at the right time, met some people that also wanted to own a quilt store. So we kind of did it together, the 3 of us. And then about 2 years in, they decided that they had other things they'd rather focus on. So I bought them out, and 24 years later, here I am.
Isn't that exciting? It really is. Do you have, and maybe the answer to this question is that it's evolved, but do you have a particular style? Like, I mean, if somebody says, so Shelley, you know, what am I going to find when I come to the Quilted Forest? Is there a particular style or theme that you have?
Well, we kind of, it does evolve over time. I mean, I would have said different things 10 or 15 years ago, but I think we're known for, we have a good selection of batiks. We have an amazing color wall. I don't know if you can see it back there,
yes,
but
I can.
You know, really great color wall. We have a lot of pre-cuts, the charm packs, jelly rolls, that kind of thing. We have, of course, our patterns, and just kind of a good overall selection, a little something for everybody, if you will.
Yeah. I often describe our shop as eclectic
Mhm.
because, and I don't know about you, but when it comes to having to buy fabric, there's really, I'd like to buy something of every style, but at some point you don't have the room, you don't have the capacity for all of that. So you have to start to be selective and stuff. But
Yes,
I always say eclectic because it's fun to, again, when I'm making something for a kid, I want something different than I'm making something for me, or if I'm making something for my mom, or, whatever. Yeah.
exactly.
Yes. Now, one of the reasons we're doing this conversation tonight is that we are on month 2 of the All Iowa Shop Hop. And our 2 shops, plus, I don't even know how many else. These are the details. I don't
Like
know how many.
15?
Look, 8. There's 18.
Oh, 18. I was
stores
wrong.
in our region. Okay. And it says there's 90 on the cover. So it's the All Iowa Shop Hop. And it started June 1st and it goes through July 31st. And we are in the North Central region. So I'll try to hold the map up and show you that Shelley is number 11, way up here on the top there, and in the middle, and I am number 8, way over here. So she's up here and I'm down here. Okay, got that. And what do you think? Are we like 2 hours, hour and a half? Oh, close to 2 hours.
Hour and somewhere in there. It depends on the route you take and how fast you drive.
As I say, who's driving, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And the shop hop, I don't know about for you, but the people that come in it's so fascinating to hear their stories, and some of them are hitting them all. We've already had people who finished the whole shop hop, and some who are just picking and choosing as they go. But there really are a lot of cool quilters out there.
So many cool quilters, and it's fascinating to see what kinds of projects they bring in and what they're looking for and the questions they ask you. And like today I had somebody come in and they asked me if I had fabric with trumpets on it, and I didn't, but I thought, oh, there's got to be fabric somewhere in one of these 90 shops that has trumpets on it. So hopefully
Yes.
she'll find it, but it's always fun to hear what they want to look for.
Yep. And some of them have a plan. I'm always curious, like some of them, especially if they're going to go to a lot of shops, they pick a project beforehand and have an idea. And then they say, I'm going to pick a fat quarter from each of the shops that they go to get to that, get what they need for that project. And I think that's exciting. What a great memory.
Mhm.
Great memory. For people that haven't ever been on the All Iowa Shop Hop, there is usually, and this year was not any different, there is a fabric collection that is specific. And I did not grab the panel. I don't know if you have the panel handy, otherwise I can go get it. Oh, she's got the whole bundle. Yes, I like it. She's got the bundle.
I have a panel here. I can open it up really quick.
Okay,
we
I didn't happen to grab
packaged
that.
ours.
And do you know, we're already out of the bolts. All we have left are fat quarters and panels. Yes, look at that. It's got a great Iowa theme. Oh, you're doing a great job rolling it. Oh my gosh, you've got technique, girl.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I love it. And it really is a fun Iowa theme with the barns and the stars, the blocks, the quilt blocks on the barns, that kind of thing. So I thought it would be fun if we showed you all what we made for the All Iowa Shop Hop, because usually the shops tend to do something that's more unique to to their shop. So what did you make as projects that people, I assume you can buy them as kits? I mean,
so what we did here at the Quilted Forest is I took a panel and a half-yard bundle home, threw it in the washer so it would be pre-shrunk, and then I made as many projects as I possibly could using that one bundle of half-yard cuts.
What a great idea.
So the projects I got out of it were, first of all, I used one of my patterns called Panel Perfect, and in the center,
we don't have that one. I think Jamie's,
Uh-oh.
watching. She better be taking notes for me because I don't
It's
have that one.
just, we cut the panel so that, because only part of it fit in there. And then these are 5-inch squares. So all those squares that they're collecting, they can combine with the fabrics in the bundle and use them for the outer border. So that was the first project.
So smart,
And
Shelley.
And then the leftover part of the panel, we just made a quick little runner. That was the part that we cut off for the
Yep.
center. And then I made one of these project keepers. This was in the magazine, I think, last year, but we sell these all year long. This is just one of those zippered. It's got the mesh. It's the by Annie project, the Peacekeeper.
Cool.
And so we have those. So that was another project I got out of it. And then the last project I got out of it was, there's actually 2 more.
Okay.
This is a little journal, and it's just, we use the fabric.
Can you see me getting closer to the computer so I can see? Oh, cute.
So we cut out these words,
Shelley,
and pieced them in there, and it's just a little journal. It's got a pocket here. And then the last things we did were these cute little bags. And these are just made out of 5-inch squares and a little bit of ribbon. And these 2 projects are YouTube. We made YouTube videos to do these projects. So if they want the pattern, they just have to go to our YouTube channel and they'll find the patterns to make these.
And that's your YouTube channel.
Our YouTube channel. Yep.
So do you
and
have
so
that?
I shouldn't say the pattern. They'll find the video that shows them how to make it.
Very good. Do you have that address?
I do. So all you have to do is go on YouTube and type in the Quilted Forest and you will find us.
Awesome.
We
Very
started
good.
that. We
We'll
started
make
it
sure-
about a year ago.
That's great. And we'll make sure that the link to your YouTube channel gets put onto our website because we actually have a whole page dedicated to the Quilted Forest. And so if you go to henandchicksstudio.com/the Quilted Forest, you're going to find a link to all of the peace tree patterns that we sell here at Hen Chicks Studio and the kits that we sell, and learn a little bit more about Shelley on that page. But we'll make sure that the YouTube channel link gets put on there too.
Awesome.
Oh, so any other, I feel like it's like the magic
Craziness.
stuff coming out. Is there anything else in there that you made?
So that was all what I ended up with was scraps at that point. And I was going to make like a little scrappy thing with like the selvages and everything. But alas, I ran out of time. But someday I'll get it done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's always more to do. But I think that's great. So you did 1 panel, and how many half-yard cuts were in that bundle?
So it was one of each. Well, I don't know where it went. It was just one of each of the fabrics that were available. I think it was 8.
And are those all for sale on your website or just in store?
I think both.
Oh,
I
awesome.
think both.
Okay. So
if not, they can call us.
Okay, I was gonna say, and I don't know if Jamie is being able to find that link or not, but we'll, if Dan happens to be on the computer, he's welcome to add that in the comments as well. So don't hesitate to do that. Otherwise, we'll follow up. I know our customers know that we leave no comment unturned. It sometimes takes us a couple of days to get through all of them. But by all means, if you've got a question or are looking for something specific that either Shelley shows or I show, put a note in the comments, and we will definitely be working on that in the next couple of days to get to that. Okay, so I've got to show what we did. We have a lot of fun around here with what we refer to as the Bitty Chick Runner. And this is a free pattern that we, it's a pattern that, a lot of people have done, the fast and easy kinds of things, but we call it the Bitty Chick because of course it's part of Hen and Chicks. And we have a video and tutorial all on our website to deal with the Bitty Chick as well. And so then we created Bitty Chick combinations that are of the all Iowa shop hop fabric. So we have the blue star version and the cream star barn star version. So we have that. And then we chose, and I'm sorry, this isn't a peace tree pattern.
That's okay.
It's okay. So there, can we see that?
Oh, that's adorable.
And that is a pattern from Perkins Dry Goods. I get all my P's. It is another P, from Perkins Dry Good called Star Burst. And so we've got a kit for that as well. But that was our way of getting to feature the fabrics. And I think it's the kind of quilt that you could keep around all year. I mean, it doesn't have a season per se to it. So
no, it looks great.
So that's what we did. And like I said, now do you still have the fabric on the bolts?
I have some left. Yes. I bought enough so it would stick around for a while.
Okay. Well, I'll tell our customers to definitely check out your shop for doing that. Cause like I said, we're out of the bolts. Do you have any of the magazines left?
I have a few left.
Okay. Cause a few people have been asking for those too. And we ran out of those too.
I'm in the outskirts of the region. So as they are going north, they've already got their magazine and everything. But like people coming down from Minnesota to start, they're going to start probably here or one of the other more northern shops. So we sell a lot of the magazines to the Minnesota gals.
Sure. I can believe that. Yes. How far are you from the Minnesota border? If somebody is
about 10, 15 miles.
And how far off of I-35?
About 13 miles.
Okay. Very good.
But we have lots of great restaurants in town. So we're a good stopping point in that respect.
Yes. And Forest City is also home to, I just have to say this, Winnebago. So if you are a camper, you might have a Winnebago and you're in the same home as that.
Yes. Winnebago brings a lot of people to town and it's always fun to hear their stories too.
Oh, I bet. Okay. Well, so the All Iowa Shop Hop goes on through July 31st, and there are prizes and all sorts of things we could get into about participating in the All Iowa Shop Hop. But all I can say is, I know Shelley and I invite you wholeheartedly to stop by our stores anytime. But of course, if you stop by during the All Iowa Shop Hop and are participating in that, you can get your sticker, your square that she mentioned, and have a little bit of fun with that. So, excuse me. So let's talk a little bit more about your second business, because running a quilt shop apparently isn't enough busyness for you. And of course I say that, and she knows I own a second business too. So we have that also in common. We have a lot of things in common. And your second business is Pieced Tree Patterns, which if you've been following Hen Chicks at all, you know we love Pieced Tree Patterns. So tell us a little bit about your pattern business, and then we'll do some show and tell about some of the different patterns that we love.
All right. Well, the pattern business started I want to say it started in about 2004. Actually, we were kind of writing patterns since we opened, but we kind of made it official in 2004 and went to our first market and all that. And I had the idea for these little cards, kind of like recipe cards for quilters, and thought that would be a good way to just have smaller projects. You don't necessarily need, a 4-page pattern to make a simple runner. So the idea was to make these little cards and have them available. And it's just kind of grown from there. And now we have 130 different titles, and I have 5 more on the way. So pretty soon there'll be 5 new patterns.
That's awesome. Do we get to see those 5 new ones tonight at all?
They are in the very they're in the paper stages. I don't have an official looking one.
Well, then we'll have something to look forward to. I love it.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I love about your patterns are the fact that they're in black and white. Almost all of them, not all of them, but there's a few that aren't. But let me grab one that I have right here. That they have black and gray scale, I guess is what you would call it. What's your thought behind that? I have my own opinion of why you do that, but how do you think that helps the quilter?
So I thought it would help the quilter so they could see sometimes fabrics, when you look at fabric, you get kind of stuck in a fabric rut and you can only see it in like blue and yellow or red and white or whatever. Like a normal pattern has a picture on the front and it's made out of fabric, and so you see it only in those fabrics, when most of the time patterns can be made in hundreds and hundreds of different color combinations and look good in all of them. And so my thought was, if I make them in grayscale, the patterns will be able to stick around a little longer. They'll last longer for shops. Shops can remake them into new fabrics that come in their store. And, you can just keep showing it and selling it, and it'll last a long time. And we still have all of our patterns. We're still selling them all. We haven't discontinued any of them. So we sell the ones that we first came out along with the newest one in an order to another shop. So it's always amazing to see what the shops order and what they're using. And a lot of the times the patterns are designed because I had something in particular that I was wanting to sell and couldn't find a pattern I really liked to use that certain thing. So there's charm packs, there's layer cakes, there's yardage, there's panels, anything that I needed to try to sell is how I kind of developed the patterns. And sometimes getting them to fit on that little tiny card is rather difficult and challenging. And anything that I couldn't fit on a smaller card gets turned into a different type of pattern. So I have other types of patterns too, regular patterns done in color and
books.
And books. Yep, I have a little bit of everything. And we also have big cards, and those are laminated cards, just like the tiny ones, but they're like a regular sheet of paper sized.
Mm-hmm. Well, I totally agree with you that we get stuck on colors, and no offense, because there's a lot of designers that do beautiful job on their pattern covers, but sometimes the pattern covers are not pretty. And if somebody can't get past that image on the cover, mm-hmm. then they're like, oh, they're totally turned off. And then when we say, well, but look, here's how we made it, then they're
exactly.
Like, oh, wow. So I have to show you. I'm going to turn around, not to turn my back to the camera or anything, but okay. So one of our favorites is in the middle, and super simple, great for big patterns. Use this over and over and over. In fact, I think there were a couple on our sale too. I could have brought down, but I didn't. But I want to show you 3 versions of this that I currently have in the store. Okay.
Awesome.
So let me so I can see here. So we can hopefully, so version number 1, and I'll get a little closer. Let's see, version number, oh, hold on. I think I grabbed 3. Okay. Version number 2. So now we've got,
look how different they look.
Oh, I know. And then, hold on. So can I show version number 3? So this,
I love how you use the blocks in there.
Yeah, we had gotten some specialty blocks, and we're trying to find a different way to use them and keep it simple. Now the blocks were actually just a little bit smaller. I think this is a 10-inch finished. Mm-hmm. And so we added our own little border around that to be able to.
That's a great way to use that.
Yeah, but isn't it amazing? Look at that. That's the same pattern, and just the placement of light and dark, and it just makes it look oh so different. So that's called in the middle, for anybody who is wondering about that. And I'm going to throw those back now.
Tiny 65.
What's that? Tiny 65.
Tiny 65.
I think we've gone back in. I finally decided that we needed to put those in as our SKU number. So if somebody goes to our website and types in Tiny 65, it should bring up in the middle.
Yeah.
And I know Jamie's she is on the computer too. So she's, I'm sure, putting it in there, but it's a great pattern. And I love the fact that it is not in color, because again, we can keep repurposing it over and over. In all of these years, do you have a favorite or favorites that you have designed?
Well, one of my favorites is the Big Easy Tiny 10. because it's fast, it's simple, it looks great, and every color combination. And when you're trying to make something fast for somebody, that's the one to use. I like the one you showed, confetti cake. That's my favorite way to use a layer cake.
And you keep
that
talking.
one's just, it's just fun to make.
We used this is called Playhouse Pals. It's a fabric collection. It's just sweet. It's got little owls and different critters on it. Super easy to go together, and it makes then a great baby gift.
Absolutely. And you know, the new patterns are always my favorites because you know, they're new, and it's like they're hard to name sometimes though. I have a difficult time coming up with names, and so I'm always just kind of fishing around for a name until something finally sticks. And the newest ones, they were a little harder to name because I've named 130 plus patterns, so the choices are getting a little more limited.
You just called Jamie and I, because we're always talking about that we should be naming some of these fabric, colors and all that kind of stuff. I actually watched a movie the other night. Over the weekend, I watched a couple Hallmark movies because that's always my, my getaway entertainment. And one of the business in the movie was that he named stuff. That was his whole job. And I'm like, cool job. That was his, his whole business. I thought, wouldn't it be fun to sit around? So Matt, you just call us up. We'll
all right.
Maybe we'll, grab a cold beverage and we'll have a lot of fun helping you name your patterns the next round.
That sounds great. I'll appreciate the help.
Yeah. Okay. So back to, are there other favorites you've got?
Well, I've been loving runners recently. I've been making a lot of runners. And this one is one of my favorites. And this one, these are made with little mini charm packs, or you can take a regular charm pack and cut it into 4 pieces. And we, of course, have kits. This one's called Scrap Happy because, of course, who doesn't want to be happy with their quilting? And again, what I like about it,
happy shirt on tonight. I'm always happy.
What I like about it is these are all pre-cut. So you can just start sewing. You don't have to cut anything before you start sewing. So that's one reason I like this one. And then this one is Tiny 25. And this one is Simply Charming. And it's just a charm pack. And there's actually enough of the charm pack left over. You could make another runner out of it. So this is one of my favorites. It's a go-to. This one is, let's see, made with seashore drive fabric from Moda. So this is just one charm pack, gets you everything in the center except for the binding and backing, of course. And I actually have another sample of that one with fabric that's coming soon. I got my sample made. This is Holly Jolly Christmas fabric. So I got this one made, and it's just amazing how different it looks. Yeah, in the different fabrics.
And all of a sudden I'm thinking, I think the girls made one of those table runners recently. And I'm like, but theirs looked very different than that. Mm-hmm. So I'll have to go home and look at it and go, is that the same? Is that the same one?
And then that confetti cake pattern, I made a small version of it called the confetti runner. And this is just the charm pack. One charm pack makes the whole top. And then you just need a binding and a backing.
Oh, that is cute. I can see that we're going to have a new order from. I think we're running out of. We're going to have to get another spindle. We're running out of space to keep all of our little patterns. That is fun. What else do you have back there?
Well, I have another thing that I have started recently on our YouTube channel is, Heidi, I don't know if you know this, but in 2026, we are going to be having the semi-quincentennial. I always have to look at it before I can say it out loud because it's a long word, but our country is going to be 250 years old.
I did not know that. In 2026?
In 2026, we'll be 250 years old here in America. And so I started on the YouTube channel, and there's no patterns, it's just video only, a block of the month, and it's going to be the 50 states plus like the territories
Cool.
and stuff like that. So you'll recognize this block, and this is corn and beans,
Yep.
and this is representing Iowa. So my dad's a farmer, so I had to do a corn and beans block for Iowa. So these blocks are all going to be rotary cut. There's not going to be any applique. So if a state is known for a particular block and it's all applique, I'm not doing that. So we're going to have rotary cutting. I don't have time
I love
for
it,
that.
Shelley. You're just
So
being honest. I love
just
it.
being honest. We all want a rotary cut. So I am not making one of these. I am making 3 of these because I decided my kids each needed a quilt. So we started this. We're on I think we're on block 7. We just finished. So this is the block for Ohio. And then this is the block for Arizona. And these are all on our YouTube channel. We have a playlist that'll keep going for 4+ years. This one is Alabama. And then I've got Louisiana. And this is the Colorado block. And then the most recent block is the Connecticut block. So I'm doing them all in red, white, and blue, but on the YouTube channel, or on our Facebook group, we started a group for this. And I'm seeing some color combinations that are awesome. There's one, she's doing it in turquoise and black and white. It is amazing. And I've even had some people from overseas say that they're not American, but they're going to make this too because they think it's a cool idea. So it's really neat.
So let's recap this because I want to make sure that I'm getting this right. So this is free on
one block
on your YouTube channel.
Yep.
And 1 block per month.
So it's going to be a 4-year-long project. So hopefully it's not overwhelming. Just 1 block a month. Just keep stacking them up. You don't have to do any more than 1 block a month. I try to keep the videos less than 15 minutes so that it's not overwhelming. And then at the end, I'll just show a simple way to sash them together and real simple sashing. And if you want to add a border, you can. It's going to be a bigger quilt, but I thought they needed, my kids, I thought they needed something really cool to celebrate when the 250th came around, because when I was a kid, we had the bicentennial.
I remember.
Yep. It was an amazing time. And I was in the little special choir that got to sing at all the shows or whatever. And we had little skirts with that were blue with white stars. We wore a little red bandana with our white shirt. And it was really memorable. So I kind of wanted to do something memorable for my kids.
I think that is amazing. This is why you get paid the big bucks. You come up with the most awesome ideas. And that is so clever. And I would, I mean, I love it that 1 block a month and, 50 months basically is what it's taking.
Yep.
And you know what, that isn't overwhelming. It sounds like, hey, that's doable. Like I can participate.
And I think when we get closer, like, we're 2 years away, they'll just have to do 2 blocks a month. If they get, if they haven't started yet and they want to start in, it'll be easy to catch up.
Yep. I think that is fabulous. Wonderful. Oh, love that idea. And the fact that you're making one for each of your kids, that's a great keepsake. I love that too. Yeah, it'll be, because I hadn't even tuned into that it's 2026.
2026.
Oh, it'll be here before we know it.
Exactly. That's why I had to start this now.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I love that idea. Okay. How about if I show something?
I'd love to see it. What do you got?
Let me see here. I think I'm going to go all the way back to the table. So, your book,
Project Parade.
Great projects in here. Doable. Love it. And so I actually have 2 projects from this book. We like,
Ooh,
when we find a book we like to make more than one project, because then people say there's real value in that book. And I still want to make the cover one as well. We haven't done that one yet.
oh, I'll have to show you mine. Well,
Okay. So the first one I'm going to show you out of here is called, oh my gosh, is it Projects from
boxes,
Back Quarters?
boxes from back quarters or something like that.
Back Quarters. Okay. And this is using the Country Fresh. Let me see if I can you see it there?
Yes, that is gorgeous.
And we've had a lot of fun with this. So the fabrics are, I'll get a little closer so you can see. Do I even have it upside down? No, I have it right side up. All right. Got cows and different animals, very classic red, white, and black. I almost said red, white, and blue. But I love how our long armor quilted it with chicken wire.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah, so that made it even extra country. So that is out of that book. And then the other one, got it down here. And maybe you're gonna have to say the name of it because I can't remember the name of it now. It's I'm upside down. It's one on the back cover.
It's got a panel in the name.
Yeah, and instead of using a panel, we just used yardage of fabric.
That is wonderful. I love that.
I keep looking more and more to some of the panel projects, not necessarily to use them for panels, but I don't know if you've noticed, but our fabrics that we're getting in are having bigger and bigger motifs.
Absolutely.
And if
they're huge.
And if we try to cut this up like this one that's in the middle, if I try to cut that up into a 2-inch square,
it's not going to work.
No, it's not going to work. And so we've been trying to find more patterns that have that. So those 2 came out of Project Parade. And like I said, I still want to do the cover quilt. So you show, where's yours?
So can you see the blue and brown in the background there?
Yes.
That's the quilt that's on the cover. It's all plaids.
Ooh,
it is
cool.
Gorgeous. And we have recut that one a couple times. I just got some new plaids in, I don't know, a month ago maybe. And they're all bright colors, pinks and turquoise and purple and like a little bit of yellow. And that's the one I'm going to do. I'm going to do it again in all plaids with brighter colors, just so I can see how different it looks.
And don't you find for ourselves, I mean, I think sometimes we do it for our own benefit, but I think customers do really enjoy seeing the exact same pattern in different fabrics, because it unleashes the possibilities for them.
Absolutely. Sometimes they'll see it on the wall and they'll think, oh, that's really pretty. But it's not my colors. I don't need those colors in my house. And then if you show it to them in a different set of colors, all of a sudden their mouth drops open and they're like, oh my God, I never considered it in that color family. And it's gorgeous in that way too. And so it's always fun to, like you said, show things in a couple different colorways, so that, especially if it's in a book, it shows them the value of having that book and purchasing that book. Because we know they're a little more expensive, but sometimes when you get more than one pattern out of a book, it just makes it a lot easier to buy.
And I would say what I'm seeing in the marketplace is that individual patterns are going up. Mm-hmm. So we're starting to see $12 patterns. And so if all of a sudden you have a book, okay, so this book has 15 projects in it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, even if we said 15 projects times, we sell your little little cards for $3.50.
Yes.
This is a value at $18.
Correct.
And if these were $12 patterns, holy buckets, we've saved a ton of money. Do you know what I mean? And I think sometimes we get caught up into, oh, it's a $26 book, or it's a, it's a $32 book. But when you really stop to think about what the value of what you're getting in a book, it really can, it can make a difference.
So one of the things I like to kind of help people when they're considering buying a book is, if there's at least two things in it that you think, oh, I want to make that. Well, if you're paying $12 a pattern, that's $24 right there. If you were to buy those two patterns separately, and you're getting those two patterns plus all the other ones in the book. So books are a good value.
Yes. Okay. So another thing that we've had fun with this year, of course, I moved one of them. Well, here we go. So, table runners, you've talked about, you were making table runners. Table runners are an awesome way to change your decor out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
They're an awesome gift. Years ago, Lynette Jensen, and I know you know Lynette too, but she said to me one time, it's not about people being able to afford the cost of the fabric or the pattern. It's to give it as a gift. It's the time.
It's the time.
And that is so true, is that, if you're going to make something for somebody else, and I could tell you about my project that took longer than 4 years, and it was, but you know what I mean? You can't always devote 4 years to every project that you're going to give away. So table runners become that great gift. And again, we love so many of your different patterns, but we picked 4. Okay. So we picked in the middle. I'm going to lay them here and see if I can, cotton reels, rail romp, and twister.
One of my favorites.
It's a fun little project. Now, what we did was we went through them, and we tried to calculate, are there similarities to the patterns? So we took all the work out of it for anybody else. And what we decided was that if you had 3 half-yard cuts, you could for sure make the top and the binding. And in most cases, you could also have enough for the back. And get by with it. And you could then you could choose which of the 4 patterns that we suggested. So we're suggesting you pick those 4 patterns, then you could pick the fabric and whichever pattern you like. And we've tested this out because we decided that last year I gave my mom, our family gave her for Christmas, we gave her flowers every month. And
nice.
This year, it was kind of fun, something a little different, right? So this year, she's like, oh, they're beautiful, but you don't have to do that. Well, we still wanted to do something. It's fun to have that gift that gives on, giving. So the girls and I decided that she should have a table runner every month to decorate with. And so we're doing these. And so the girls have made all 12 of them, and they threw in a few more patterns. That's where I think the one you showed earlier, and I said, I think the girls made, I think they decided that Grandma would like yet one different, style pattern. Still work just fine.
Awesome.
In the theory of we have everything. So we have a whole bucket of them, but just, every month has its own color combination. And of course you could use those half-yard cuts for something else. But that is what we did. So that's a whole series called Table Runners Through the Year that we did.
I think that's a brilliant idea.
Because doesn't everybody like to receive something, that they made? And we one table runner a month, not so overwhelming. And then she gets to decorate and change up and, do something different all the time.
Now, what I like as a quilter when doing table runners is they're not overwhelming. Like you said, they're smaller projects. You can easily get them done in an afternoon or an evening, or maybe 2 days, depending on how much time you have for those times. And it's kind of like instant gratification. You start something, you can finish it, and you have something new. And so that's one reason why I do a lot of table runner patterns is people like manageable projects.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. And I have all neutral, I'm going to say kinds of background, like paint at the house. And so sometimes that's something like a splash of color in a table runner can just change things up without having to repaint the entire room or redecorate the
Yeah,
entire room.
no repainting necessary.
No, and I don't paint, so not not going to happen.
Are you saying it's not going to happen, Heidi?
No, I'll
painting?
make a quilt before I paint. There we go. Okay, so I got to show a couple more. This one is I gotta look, Easy Charms. I'm gonna unpin it. It's pinned together here. We'll fix this. We'll put that back together tomorrow.
Oh, that turned out nice.
Isn't that fun? So a different, I was gonna say, I think I have that is, what is that? Tiny 129.
129, yes.
And I think it's interesting, like when I look at that on black and white, I see almost like a woven pattern. And now I got to look.
Mhm.
Does it get that? Do we get that same thing here? Or is it totally different because of the way we place the fabric?
See, and I see the like the squares with the two squares. It's kind of like it's not a butterfly, but that's kind of the what
like
it reminded me of. Yeah, that's what I see.
And then it goes
like
this way.
like a
Yeah,
bow
and it
tie
kind of almost looks like it's weaving in and out.
Yes.
And we kind of, in this one, we did foul that you did a black, background, and we thought that was kind of cool. So often our what do I want to say? Our normal reaction is to go to a white or a cream background. Now we're getting to see more grays. People are wanting to use more gray background, but sometimes it is fun to have that reverse where that's a dark background and then the other fabrics just pop off.
And that one's fun because you can get some of those jelly rolls that are all one color. And so I did that one with a white background, and I also did one with a brown background, and that was kind of cool. So, and you can just play with that. You could use any color for the background on that one.
Yes. This is Terrific Triangles, I believe. Terrific Triangles.
I was not recognizing it. It looks fantastic. But now that I see it, I do.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, I think Jamie pieced this, and I think she was playing around, like maybe this one should have been that color, but she ended up, I think, piecing it with a similar color to give it a completely different, look. I mean,
yes,
it's fun to be kind of, I'll say, start coloring. With
absolutely. And I have actually been in other shops, and I have seen like a really cool runner, and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool runner. What pattern is that? And they'll look at me and they're like, it's yours. And I was like, I didn't even recognize it because, just with subtle changes in like the background color or accents or something, it just looks totally different. So yeah, that was cool.
All right. And of course, on this another hot day in Iowa, I'm thinking Christmas, trying to keep cool. So we have table runner, or excuse me, a tree skirt. And it's got snowflakes and gift packages. Again, nice and easy, doable for getting your house decorated without having to feel like you're going to do a lot. And then double cross, which is Tiny 54. And here is our musical version.
Oh, I like that.
And it's got some musical fabric. The cream fabric is got
very pretty
on it, and some stars. It's got a little gold glitter to it.
Got to have a little glitz sometimes.
Something else that you do that I appreciate is there are some great styles of things. You talked about the twister,
Mhm.
is one of your favorites. And it's not always easy for people to translate. They think, oh, I could do that and I can make some changes and stuff, and add a panel in between. People don't necessarily translate those things well. And so I love that you have taken some of those good themes
Mhm.
and have made them in different sizes and have taken the work out. There's no guesswork. You don't have to. So you have the twister and then you have the twisted panel. And
there's another one that the twist goes all the way around. It's kind of like a baby size quilt.
I
And you
think,
put,
yeah,
I think you've had that one.
I think we have that one. I don't have it pulled at the moment. And so I grabbed this is Backyard Happenings.
And what's great about this particular pattern is any size panel, any width panel will work. As long as you have the length, you could put any width in there. So 24-inch or 36-inch, or you want to add another border or something, you could totally do it.
And with digital printing, we are seeing, I'm going to say, more and more panels that are unique sizes.
Yes.
And so certainly, absolutely. And I actually said to the girls, I'm shocked that the one panel pattern that we use all of the time of yours, we don't have any in the store. So I'm like, this is, and the one made up, a sample made up. We had several on the sale. It's Panel Magic.
Panel Magic works with any size panel.
And it always looks good. I did it with Stephanie Brandenburg's vibrant, flowers, I guess the
The
best way
big
to
flowers.
say it. Yeah, big flowers. And I did that Panel Magic and it looked great. We've done it with baby panels and it looks sweet. We've done it with, you can do it with anything. And that's another great panel, definitely a great panel project.
We almost always have one of those hanging on the wall here at the shop somewhere. And every once in a while we will sell out of it and then we don't have one and we're looking around the shop going, where's our Panel Magic? And then we're like, okay, time to make a new one.
Yep. Always is something that you have to, keep moving those on. We're always finding new ones. As you were looking toward, you've already talked about the 50 block. Would you have a name for that program?
Celebrating the States. That's what we're calling it.
Very good. Celebrating the States. So that's something that's obviously ongoing in the future. Do you have any other interesting future plans? I mean, I know you do some retreats and things. What other things do you have on your horizon?
So every fall and every spring, we have a retreat at Okoboji Lutheran Bible Camp over in Milford, Iowa. And we vend for another gal who does a camp, and then we stick around and have our own camp afterwards. So we're there for kind of like, I want to say 12 or 13 days. And we just have a great time over there. The store's still open. We leave my daughter in charge and she has a good time helping people. And then we take a good portion of the store and stick it in a truck and head over to Milford and set up a kind of a little mini store over there that is open to the public. Anybody can come. And then the campers have a store right on the camp there. So they can sew and shop and sew and shop and maybe shop and sew. So it's all good for them. And then we're trying to stick to a really fun YouTube schedule. We started this last year. I didn't know what to think. I wasn't sure if anybody would watch anything I had to do, but I thought I needed something new to inspire me, something fun to do. And I thought, well, let's start a YouTube channel. So the goal is 2 videos a week. I've been really good about it. We just had our 1-year anniversary. We've got about 100 videos out there. We've had a lot of fun putting them together, and we just kind of try to do different things. So this year we have the Celebrating the States, and then we have a block of the month that we're doing. And that is 12 different blocks. And at the end, it's kind of like a sampler quilt. And then we are doing, right now we're having a mystery. We've done 2 previous mysteries that are already out there, and we'll leave those up. So if people want to start and do them, they can see what they are. And then we put out videos like when we get new product or we have fun new things that we're doing. And then at the beginning of this year, we kind of said, we kind of want to inspire you to get some of your older projects done. So you can move on with your life and do new things. But to get some of the new things made, you have to finish some of the old things. So we've told everybody to make a list of 12 things they want to get done this year. It could be new projects, it could be old projects, it could be projects you're trying to stay away from because you don't like them anymore. But you know what? Get them done, get them off the door, and then you can move on with your life. So we told everybody to make a list 1 through 12. And then at the beginning of the month, we pull out a number, and that's the project you're supposed to work on that month, kind of inspire you. Hey, did you get last month's done? So far I am 6 for 6. We just drew the project for this month, which for me, why did I even put that on the list? It's huge. I don't know what I was thinking. So this month is going to be a challenge for me, but I'll get it done because I am determined to stay up with it. And so everybody's got their list. And then we, at the beginning of the year, we showed them, one of our YouTube videos was how to make a journal cover. And then I showed them that one thing that helped me last year was every month I kind of keep track of things that I've made. And so I have this little journal, and I just put in here little things about, whatever's been going on, things that we've done, places that I've been, but mostly it's about the projects that I'm working on. And this is kind of like middle memory of it.
That is
and
awesome, Shelley.
Yeah. And so like we did our mystery quilt. So I put that in there. And here's a thank you note from Heidi when I must have done something nice for you. So this is just something I've been doing just to kind of keep track of the year for me and just kind of show me all the projects I finished, keep track of everything, write down some personal things in there too. And I look back on the one that I made last year, which ended up being this thick. And some of the stuff in here, I don't even remember like putting it in there or that I had made it. And so it's kind of neat to see. I'm going to look back on this in a couple of years and go, wow, I did all that. So I highly recommend to anybody to make a journal cover,
but I think
make a journal, keep track of it, remember things.
I think we're going to have to do that one at Hen Chicks Studio. We're going to take your idea and use that one because that is an awesome idea. And, on that note, I think it's a great way, to say that it is so much fun in our industry to be able to be friends with we could call each other competitors, but it's more of like we're friends. And the thing is that every quilt shop has its uniquenesses because each of the shop owners is unique. And that's what makes a shop hop really fun, is that you go into each shop and they have completely different fabric or packaging or, ideas, and love that. And of course, if we take this idea, the journaling idea, because I love journaling, that is awesome. And I'm like, why haven't I been thinking of that? Goodness gracious. So
I had to inspire you to do it.
That's right. You've now inspired me. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to be texting Jamie after bed. Like, okay, here's what we're doing. And anyway, but I love that. And I cannot believe that our hour has already gone so fast.
Oh, wow.
Shelley. Oh, I know.
That was fun.
And so often we don't get to see each other in person very often.
We're kind of in our stores.
Yep, we're in our stores and in our element. We're in our element doing what we do best, right? Being creative. So I really appreciate getting to have you join me tonight on this creative conversation, because again, I think it's fun to get to know you better, even though I've known you for a long time. I've learned a lot about you tonight and about your businesses. And I know our customers will now know more about all of these little patterns that we're showing and using here, and you'll understand. And of course, we encourage everyone to stop at both of our shops on the All Iowa Shop Hop this month. And of course, anytime after that, we welcome you. So thank you, Shelley.
Thanks for having me, Heidi. This has been a lot of fun.
It has. So good night, everybody. And until the next time we see you, be creative.